Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are having a look at how to make some warpin models. So because I've already made iHenry Scout warpin model quite some time ago when I first did some tests with the m3studio. So instead I will make the iHenry Dragoon warpin model. So I've opened two windows. One is the normal Dragoon warpin and the other one is the iHenry Dragoon itself. And now we can have a look. It has 13 meshes. I will just go through all of them just to have a look which one is which. Okay. It is indeed quite a lot. I will have a look if there are some materials which are the same for some of them. I have to click all of them, really? Dragoon 2, Dragoon 2. There is iHenry default spec. Reactor. Armor. Mothership body. Phoenix. Shoulder pads. Pretty much all the parts have different materials, but not all of them. So mesh 0, let's say, is iHenry Sentry War Chest, which I've seen probably on some other ones as well. It should be the front part, yup. So that means, in order to make it a little bit easier to edit, I will, which one it was? 6, 5, 4. This one. Press Ctrl and select also the first one. Then go to Object and press Join. This will put the parts together, which will hopefully make it easier to edit, because I don't have to modify multiple meshes, and I think these two actually use the same material as well. So that means I can join these two also. So I have a little less meshes, but it's still quite a lot. So first, what I want to do, what is done with all warpin models, go to the modifiers and apply. Same as with the placement models. This way we will prepare the model for the warpin model. Because if I wouldn't do this, it wouldn't have it wouldn't stand like this. It would be T-posed and the legs would be connected here in the middle, or let's say they wouldn't be with this angle, they would just all face this way around the red axis, x-axis. Okay, so that's all. I could also remove all the unwanted stuff, but that's no longer necessary since the plugin was changed. So export, desktop, and then we have it. which means I don't need this one anymore. Let's just focus on this one. Something is a little bit different from the placement model, because this one actually has two meshes. These first three are for the warping effects, but then you have these two which are identical, but they have different material. If you have a look here, one of them, usually the material is called like this, but sometimes it has different name. That's basically what you see if I find some warping model. That's what you see here at this moment. That holographic shiny thing, and the other model is the unit model itself, which then materializes. So this one is the holographic one, and this is the normal model, classic Dragoon. And what I want to do, I want to check how it looks. So drag the left corner down, so you have another window. Open UV editor, not OP, that would be overpowered, and have a look at how this looks. So this is UV layer 1, or this is called 0, but 0 and 1. One is hidden in the corner, and this one is just a view from the top, which I don't really know. It's usually not even necessary to do that, but why not? So that's one. And then now have a look how the normal Dragoon looks, the model itself. This is normal layout of the texture. And the second one is like this. If you notice, it's also view from the front or from the back, but unlike placement model, this one is upside down. I don't know why it was made like this, but that's the way the animation works. It always has to be upside down for ground units. For air units it's a slightly different, but you can just have a look at how it looks for the original model, and then do the same with the new one you want to make. Sometimes even for Blizzard model you can see it's not upside down, and then it doesn't work properly. I can show you some example. I think the Sentinel, so that would be Zealot Purifier, I think it's called. Zealot Purifier warp in. I think it's broken for this one. Yep. And this is what should not happen, because it's not upside down here in the UV editor. Then it looks like this. It materializes from the top, but the whole idea of the warping is that this hexagon that goes from the ground is the materialization line, which makes the model show up. If I show it to you on a normal Zealot, it will work properly. Pretty much. Ideally it should go together with the line. The hexagon should go together with it and materialize from the bottom. But for the purifier it just goes against it, and yeah, I think that's just because they forgot that it should be upside down. So don't forget about it. And that's all. We can get to editing. So I will import the Dragoon, this one, the mesh which we have made, only mesh data, and import. This is actually what I was talking about, that if there are changes to the material, it will now automatically convert. So that's actually pretty good. And what I will do now is I will rename, wait, it should be, this one is which one? I will rename these, not whole, hollow, these meshes, just to know which ones those are. There's too many meshes, so I don't want to confuse them. You don't have to do that, but I do it for, let's say, better overview. This way I will move all the warping meshes out of the way. They will be there on the bottom. And this all should be now the ones which I imported. So first I select all of those. I will go to Object, Duplicate Objects. You can drag it anywhere, but I just press right mouse button and it will jump back where it should be. And now I keep it all selected. That's the copy of all the meshes, and I hit join. This way I will make all of the parts into one model, and this duplicate we will use for the hollow model. So I will name it hollow Henry, for example, and I will apply the material, which is this one. So that should be okay. And now I want to also copy this, go to edit mode, select all. I will delete all the groups and assign only this one. And if you remember, then the first map was the view from the top, so we will do something like that. That should be, I guess, okay. I will make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't go over the edges, just to be sure. And the second one, okay, I don't know what this is, but you just scale it down to absolute minimum and move it somewhere in the corner. Not sure why that is done, but it's not even necessary, I think. But in the name of making everything the way it is on the originals, I do it this way also, just to be sure that nothing gets messed up. It only takes few seconds. Okay, this way we have one model completely done. This is the hollow version, and now we have to do the same with the normal one. So I will go and copy this. I think I can remove the old Dragoon and also the hollow. Now we have only the Henry version, and now I will have to go through all the meshes and we will find some upside down position. Hit the number 5 on numeric keyboard again, like I did on that placement model. Move the view somewhere, perhaps here, and do the same as what we did with the placement model. So assign all the parts to this. For some reason there is already a UV1 layer, I don't know why, but we can use it. So I will do again project from view, but we have to have it upside down like this. First I want to check, however, some different part. I think I can select not this one, because those are the widest parts. So I want to have a look how they look if I project from view. Okay, that should be pretty much fine. I'm just checking the scale if it is hidden in the area correctly, and it should usually be like this. That's those two first rows should be plus minus empty, because otherwise some parts show up even before it should, so that's not really good. It shouldn't be filling these two first layers usually. You need to play with the scale a little bit. Okay, so we have this part. That means just do the same. Delete all groups and assign it. For the first one we already have that or not. I will check once more if, yeah, okay, it's the correct one. Then mesh. It's interesting because all of these for some reason have second UV layer, which most models normally don't have. And if I switch to this, project from view, this one we have done, and now I have to do that with all these ones. So I will just skip it so the video is not so long. Okay, we have that. So now let's have a look at the materials. So the one which is this one we can leave as it is, and then we have the Ayur top. This is the one we have. This is the one from the original Dragoon. So what we have to make the same is the emissive layer, the alpha layer. Those we need to put in all the materials. Then the alpha threshold should be 2, and also for the emissive layer always the corresponding blend layer should be at. And we should also check these ones that they are the same. So I will show it, for example, here. Ayur top emis, alpha mask. Here put 2. I think this should be like this, if I remember correctly. Yep. And that's it. And now I have to do that with all the parts that are here, which are really a lot, because this is done from too many different models. But usually the kit bashes are done from 2-3 parts, so that should not be so difficult. But just to show that even this can happen, you have to change it in all of these. And maybe I should show some slightly different parts, because sometimes you want to keep, for example, here we have I-Henry Sentry, and as you can see there are also 2 layers, 2 emissive. And you can see the first one is team color emissive at. That means that the emissive parts are TC. I cannot keep both of them. I need to change the one of them to the Ayur top. So I will change the alpha one and put it on this one. But for example, somewhere where there is only one. Yeah. For example, here is just one emissive layer. If I don't want to replace it by something and I want it to still be shown, I will just open it in this layer. I will make it the second one. The first one I will make the iron top, and we have both. So if the material only has one emissive layer from the beginning, you can use that one in the second layer, which will keep it for the warp-in model, and the first one you can replace with the, this is the materialization line that goes through the model. But if there are two of them, you just have to decide which one you will remove. I usually remove the team colorable one, and the parts that have static color I keep as it is. So that's just, I think, all. So I will do that with all the materials and then come back to show the rest. And one more thing, if it already has alpha, which I think this is it's some semi-transparent material, you can also do the same. Go here and use the second alpha layer. Maybe you don't have to replace them, I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I do it this way. Always put it, the alpha one, which is animated, which I need, I put it on the first place, and the original one I put here. And also this is alpha add, different material type, but I think it should not be a problem. You always just need to have the alpha test threshold set to 2, and it should work well, I think. And I think I can leave this as it is. Not necessarily everything needs to be according to the original ones. If it's, I think on this side yes, on this side not really. If it's transparent, it needs to be slightly different. Then the shoulder pads, that should be just normally as it is. Okay, so I will continue making it, and then I will come back when it is all finished, and I think we can test the model. One more example. For example, this is fully team colored part. It doesn't have static emissive color. So that means if I want to change it also, so I will find the cyan emis one. Oh, wrong texture. Cyan, okay, here I will put the iron top, and these ones need to correspond with the original ones, so add, and here I need to change it to team color emissive add instead for this layer, for the cyan emis one. And also the same with the alphas, as I have already shown. So cyan alpha 1, and here put the iron top alpha 1, alpha test threshold, and this I will rather disable, not sure how needed it is, and this I will keep it this way. Let's show if it does anything or if it's not necessary. And here we have Oracle emis 1, so that one I will replace. Add alpha mask, this disable, two-sided, and alpha threshold. And I think we should have everything, so if I haven't messed up anything with so many materials, now it should be working. That's pretty much all we have to do. So Dragoon, Henry, warp in, work in progress, export. And let's have a look. I hope it will work as it should. Dragoon, this one. Okay. It mostly works, but there is one part that doesn't work really the way it should. This works all well. And this back part, for some reason, is showing up. But I don't know why. This is what I have said, that it would show up even if it shouldn't. But I mentioned it with the legs, which work as intended. Also, I'm missing some textures, so I can fix that also. So I will have a look at what is wrong, and then we can continue. Okay, so I have imported all the required textures for the I-Henry Dragoon for the base model, and because those also apply for the Warpin model, and I've made a second version somewhere here. This one. And now it works as it should. And if you ask what was the problem with this back part not working properly, it was because I messed up with the UV map. Instead of using some project from Vue, I used something else, and that's why it was messed up. So I normally did the project from Vue, and now it works well. And we can do some improvements on it, maybe. I will have a look. Let's see it in the cutscene editor, because it's better in there. You can see that I've changed the layer from that only some parts, only these top parts on the knees or on the legs have team color in the emissive version. That are the parts with which I have shown. And why it has alpha, if you have a look, the original alpha is this, it's semi-transparent. And I think that there's some bubble on top that is also transparent, so that also needs the original alpha layer. So you need both of them. But if you have a look, then the hexagon goes much faster than the line. It's not so visible from the top, so usually in game you don't have to do anything about it. But if you want, you can just do some slight changes to the project from Vue. Now I just need to figure out which would be better, because it goes quite quickly and it goes quicker like this. Okay, I think if we make it smaller, maybe, let's have some experimenting. I will make this smaller, the view, so then we also do project from Vue on everything and make it a little smaller, and then let's see if it gets better. Project from Vue. It's also really important to keep the model and don't move with it. Keep it in the view you have it, in case you need to change it later on, like I'm doing it now. If I messed with it during something I did with the materials, then I would have to change it completely. This way I just make it slightly smaller. I don't have to search for the right angle again. And this is what was wrong. It was all over this area. It was not done well. UV project from view. Let's make everything smaller. Which means that the warp line will actually be bigger. Okay, let's have a look. Hopefully it should now look slightly better. Or worse, if I messed it up. It goes quite better. It goes in the same speed as the hexagon now. But it starts quite later. Which means we can still do one thing, and that is move it up or down. So that's what we can also try. And if it goes like this, then moving it, we need for it to start sooner, so I need to move it closer to the line by a bit, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that should make sense. Okay, so if we'll go here once again, then we can move the view. The line originates from the bottom of the model and goes like this. Because it's upside down, it originates on the top and goes down along the model. So if we move it closer to the origin of the line, just not too much, because then the legs would already be visible before. Okay, that was not enough, I guess. So we can do it a little bit more. Edit mode, UV project from view. It doesn't seem like it moved at all. I think we can move it a little bit more even. UV project from view. Okay, and I think this should make it better. Now if we do that again on all of the models, project from view, it should make it better. But I'm not sure, maybe I did it exactly the wrong way and it will be even worse. Depends on how well I was thinking about it. Edit mode first. I'm trying to do it quickly and instead I'm just messing it up and it doesn't really help. Okay, last three materials, or not materials, but meshes. Okay, project from view, and last one. And now it should be okay. Hopefully. Let's have a look. Dragoon. Yep, I would say it looks even better than before. It's not exactly going still with the hexagon, but it's much closer, I think. This one was delayed quite a bit. This one is really only a little bit below. So I think it's perfect. If you have a look from the top, yep, it's not a problem. And as you can see, these parts are black because before they were glowing. So maybe that's something we can change to make it a little bit better. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Those are these parts, and I don't think they actually have any static emissive, so we can change that. So let's have a look which material it is. Those are these parts. Shoulder pads. Okay, now go to the materials, shoulder pads, and I'm using the shoulder pads emissive 2, but I want to use the shoulder pad emissive 1 instead, and use the team color emissive add, and it should look maybe a little better. At least I show you in reality how it looks. It's not just bam and the model is done. You have to change it multiple times until it looks perfect, or perfect to your imagination. Doesn't have to be completely perfect, just that you are satisfied with it. This should now be better. Yep, I think that's already much better. It has these glowing parts instead of being completely black, which was a bit out of place, I think. So this is actually pretty good. I think it works really well. This works, this shows up, and this is how you make a placement model, or a warping model. And since it's Henry again, we can do some changes to make the warping also Henry. So let's go to lights. That's first thing we need to change. Put it somewhere in here. Again, replace keyframe. And the same is also with particles. I think the first two, this one is completely white, so these two. So change it to something like this maybe. You can just copy it to the second one. Replace keyframe. Here you can put something like this. Okay, something more like that. If you want to make it the same, you can always go and copy this and put it in anywhere you need, and it will be the same color, which can be useful sometimes. This needs to be just slightly greenish, so let's make it like this. And these four we will change as well. Okay, those are the parts where we change colors, and then there are also material layers we need to change. Generic glow we don't have to change, that's not colored one. Tron square one blue, that we need to change. And I'm not sure if this is something I have imported, probably not, so this texture should exist by itself. If you don't find it in the color you have, in the color you want, for example, normally it's blue, you want it red, you can check if it's red, if there is red version of it. Tron Square 1, and you can see all the colors that there are. There are actually quite a lot of colors, so it should be pretty much okay. Normally it's blue, we want to have Zelnaga teal, or because normal teal is not the color we want, aqua also not. So either green or green diff. I think this one actually looks pretty good to me. That's pretty much the closest. Not even this, or maybe we can use this. It doesn't really matter. Let's use the Zelnaga teal. So we will rename it. This is the texture path, so it will automatically load this texture instead of the blue one. Then there's Tron object, warp in Tron squares. I don't know if it existed or not. Warp in Tron squares green. I made one for Nerazims, but since it's not imported in here in the teal version, which means it already existed in game. Yup, the teal one already exists. So for example, blue one exists, teal one exists, and red one exists. But if you want to make purifier warpins in orange color, you need to make orange version of the texture. You can do that similarly to the way I did it with the placement model last time with the texture. You can use some online editor like I had, or learn with any other texture editing software, image editing software. Or if it's for Nerazim and Purifier, you can just download any of my models that have these kind of warpins. For example, I did the improved Purifier Immortal, and it has orange warpin, so you can copy the textures from there and just put them in your file and use it with them. But if you would want to do it, for example, pink, you would have to make the version yourself. But teal version exists, so that's good for us. We can put it here. Same with emissive. This we can all ignore. Laser drill acquire also. Warpline 4. That one, I think Warpline 4. Normally it is blue. There's also red. And then there's this special version. But it's only in blue and red. And these two ones I have made and imported. You can see they are right here. So these ones don't exist. If you want, you can download them in some of my files. This one should already be available with some Nerazim models I did. I think the Stalker with green glow. And this one will be available once I release the Iron Warpins for Scout and Dragoon. I'm putting them in a folder, and once I have everything ready, I will upload them as well. So I have already imported them. We can use those. But without having them imported, I couldn't use it. You need to import them first. And Blink Alpha at 1, I think this one, Blink Alpha at 1. There is the normal version. I will have a look which ones I have imported. Yeah, teal version doesn't exist. I had to make it also, so that will also be available once I release these models, and you can use it if you make your own iron colored warpins. So that's also something we can use. And if I have a look which ones exist normally, purple ones you can make, orange, green exists, so for Nerazim ones this one already exists. This one is not the same. And then there's also a red one, but it's named differently. console blink alpha had one red, but I use it for the Taldarim war pins. Doesn't matter that it's named differently, it's important that it looks the same, just in a red color. But now we have the teal imported since I made it, so we can use that one without any problems. And that should be all, I think. Yep. So you need to change the emissive layer and some of these ones that are on the top. They should be named pretty much the same on all war pins, or you will recognize the texture name. That should be the same. And I think we can try it. This way, war pin teal. And let's have a look. Dragoon. Warp in teal. Bam. I think it looks pretty good. And this way you can make custom war pins for anything you want. It can be structures, it can be trees, whatever you want. Just need to put it in the pose you want it to have and do all these changes. It takes quite some time, but yeah, it's worth it, in my opinion, if you want something to look really good with all the details it should have. Because if you make some special model, you don't want it to have warping of something else. So I'm really happy I can finally do the warping models, dev models, placement models with this new m3studio plugin, because that was not possible with the M3 add-on. That broke them quite a bit. All these lines that you see jumping from the top to bottom, horizontally or vertically. I'm just confused about it now, these ones. And those were all over the place, in all directions. That was complete mess. So I'm happy this works the way it should. And it looks really good. So yeah, I hope you will find it useful. You will be able to make your own warping models. If you want to ask anything, something doesn't work or things like that, you can always make a comment. But as I've mentioned also in the previous videos, I don't read those very often. It's better, if you want sooner answer, to contact me on SC2 Mapster or on Discord. So yep, that's all. I think next time I will do something about textures, not directly about texturing, but about making custom textures, but about some values the textures have and how they work and how you can edit it and things like that. So yep, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.